What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here with your $1,400 third stimulus check update, fourth stimulus check update, and related news. Brand new breaking information about the new stimulus package, the fourth round of stimulus. We're going to go over that today, as well as the latest details on the $1,400 third stimulus checks for those people that have not received it, which is mostly Social Security recipients, SSI, SSDI, VA, RRB, and everybody underneath the Social Security umbrella. The latest details on that, the payments, and what to expect going forward. We're going to jump right in. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss out on updates on the upcoming round of stimulus, as there's multiple different provisions on the horizon for the next round, what we're calling the fourth round of stimulus. And let's jump right in. Don't forget to hit the like button. Here we go. Dr. Fauci says that it's the new variants in the United States that is causing the brand new start of a surge, start of a new spike up, as cases had plateaued in the United States, which was still at a previous high, but not nearly as high as we had seen recently. And new variants are what is causing this.
You have been warning all month that we are stuck. We are plateauing at a high level of infection. You just heard that. Michigan, New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts, we're seeing spikes. What's driving these infections? Is it the new variants?
Well, you know, the variants are playing a part, but it is not completely the variants. What we're likely seeing is because of things like spring break and pulling back on the mitigation methods that you've seen now. Several states have done that. I believe it's premature, Margaret, because when I've said many times to you that when you're coming down from a big peak and you reach a point and start to plateau, once you stay at that plateau, you're really in danger of a surge coming up. And unfortunately, that's what we're starting to see. We got stuck at around 50,000 new cases per day, went up to 60,000 the other day. And that's really a risk. We've seen that in our own country, and that's exactly what's happened in Europe, in several of the countries in the European Union, where they plateaued and then started to come back. And that's why we say it really is almost a race between getting people vaccinated and having this peak that we may want to see, and we don't want to see that. And again, it isn't just the variants. Variants we take seriously and are concerned, but it is not only the variants that are doing that.
Here is that graph that Dr. Fauci is talking about. As you can see, we have come down significantly down from the high of a 300,000 new cases per day was the high back in January 8th, which was extremely high. We plateaued around 50 to 60,000 cases per day, new cases every single day. We're up a little bit since then of 60,000 new cases per day. This is near the high of what we've seen in the summer in July, and higher than the high of what we've seen when we did the March and April lockdown. The high back then was only 30,000 new cases per day. We're also seeing the deaths still coming down. We're averaging around 1,000 per day every single day of new deaths. So this comes as the U.S. has now passed 30 million cases, which is about 10% of the United States having caught this virus. And nearing 550,000 people have died from this virus in the U.S. alone. If we look at the entire world, we're looking at 127 million people that have caught this virus, and we're getting close to 3 million people having died from this pandemic. President Biden has doubled his goal of 100 million doses in the first 100 days to 200 million doses in the first 100 days.
Good afternoon. Before I take questions, I want to give you a progress report to the nation on where we stand 65 days into office here, on vaccinations and a few other top priorities for the American people. First, on vaccinations. On December 8th, I indicated that I hope to get 100 million shots in people's arms in my first 100 days. We met that goal last week by day 58, 42 days ahead of schedule. Now today I'm setting a second goal, and that is we will, by my 100th day in office, have administered 200 million shots in people's arms. That's right, 200 million shots in 100 days. I know it's ambitious, twice our original goal, but no other country in the world has even come close, not even close to what we are doing.
On stimulus, the next major stimulus package is called the Build Back Better package. It will be focused on infrastructure, but we do know that there will be multiple different provisions of stimulus in this next package. We're also expecting possible standalone bills and presidential executive orders for the fourth round of stimulus. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki has confirmed that the infrastructure package, the next stimulus package, will be in two different parts, actually, which is very surprising to me because Senator Bernie Sanders says that they're likely going to have to pass this next bill through reconciliation process, which they can only use the reconciliation process, from what I understand. I've been doing a lot of research on it, 3 times per year based on different subjects of the budget. Okay. So I'm very surprised to see that they're going to be trying to pass the next stimulus package in two different parts, especially because if they don't get Republican support, well, they're going to need to pass it through the reconciliation process. So my guess is they're going to try to do this bill in two parts, which is surprising to me. I'm not even sure why they're doing this. Maybe they're trying to do it so it doesn't look as expensive as the bill is. We're expecting this new infrastructure bill to be around $3 trillion. However, unlike previous stimulus packages, remember, former President Donald Trump passed 5 stimulus packages, and President Biden has now passed one stimulus package. There was 3 checks between those 6 different packages. There were some other minor packages in there that just had things like money for small businesses and vaccines and stuff like that. But there has been 6 total packages passed. The first one underneath President Trump was the most expensive. It was more than the one that was just passed through President Biden. And we're expected to see more, but I'm really surprised that they're going to be trying to do this through 2 different packages. They're going to split it up. And my guess is that they're going to try to get Republican support to pass these next packages. But if they don't get Republican support, then I expect they're probably going to have to combine them and pass them through the reconciliation process, just like they did the last one, the third stimulus check package. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki indicated Sunday that the Biden administration would pursue 2 pieces of legislation as part of its push to rebuild the nation's infrastructure. Speaking on Fox News Sunday, Psaki was questioned by the host, Chris Wallace, on whether the infrastructure reform would be handled in one bill or 2 bills introduced by congressional Democrats. She says, quote, 2 separate proposals, and will work with the Senate and the House to see how it should move forward. News that the push will be split up into 2 pieces of legislation comes just days after a source close to the White House revealed to The Hill that the price tag for the Democrats' next legislative push would be $3 trillion. I think that this might be why they're going to attempt to split this into 2 bills so it doesn't look like as much on face value. And that would be for a wide-ranging effort aimed at funding a host of domestic programs such as community college tuition, healthcare subsidies, free preschool, free community college, and more. Also, what I think is that this is going to be, I tried to say this earlier, but I didn't get to it, that this is going to be the first package that they're going to try to attempt to pay for, okay? In my opinion, the last 6 stimulus packages are never going to be paid for. They're not raising taxes to pay for those. They're just going on to the national debt, and it is what it is. It's just a number that goes to the debt. The debt's around $30 trillion, and it is what it is. I don't think that anybody will ever pay for that. If we go back in time to 1990, the national debt was $3 trillion. Now, about 31 years later, the national debt is $30 trillion. I don't personally think that that will ever be paid off. It's very rare that the U.S. even finds 1 year that they don't add to the national debt. So I think that by the time I'm 80, the national debt will probably be $80 million, and it just is what it is. A lot of economists say that these stimulus programs shouldn't even be considered debt because they're giving money back to the people, back to small businesses, people that run them. It's a portion of your taxes paid back to you, and there's no interest on it. There's no interest on stimulus checks, and they don't need to be paid back. Debt typically has an interest rate and needs to be paid back, neither of which stimulus checks or these child income tax credits, unemployment bonus money, none of that has to be paid back, and none of it has an interest rate. So some economists question whether or not this should even be on the national debt counter or not, because a lot of people, and I see this in the comments from you guys, saying it's just a refund of the taxes you've already paid to the government. It's the government giving back during a once in 100-year pandemic. But if you think differently, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. The push to add stimulus checks into one of these next two stimulus packages now is on the go, as over 60 different lawmakers now support further direct stimulus payments for the next round of stimulus packages or for the fourth stimulus check. There's over 60 different lawmakers in Congress from the House and the Senate that have now actually gone out and outspoken that there needs to be at least a fourth stimulus check. And this is exactly what I expect to happen. Remember, it's still very fresh on the third stimulus check. We still have about 30 million Social Security recipients that haven't even received their third stimulus check. I'll get to that, more information on that here in a minute. And I think there's about 10 or 20 million other people besides Social Security that haven't received their checks. Again, I'll go over that details here in a minute. But I don't expect like the White House to really come out and say, hey, we need a fourth stimulus check. I don't expect them to do that like super soon. I think the plan, and this is probably the smartest way to do this, is to be, once we're closer to passing the next package, then say, oh, well, now economic conditions haven't gotten better. People are still struggling and we need another stimulus check. It's not really the best for bipartisan support and to get those key votes that are in the center that aren't really that left leaning for Democrats to immediately pass the third stimulus check and then come out and say, hey, we need a fourth stimulus check immediately after the third one passes, even though we already have over 60 Democrats saying that that is what needs to happen. And I think the more of the push we get, the more support we get for this, the more and more likely it will be by the time the package is ready to pass that we will see a fourth stimulus check. And we have dozens of Democrats pushing not just for a stimulus check in there, but for a monthly recurring stimulus check. As you can see here, many Americans have been wondering whether there will be a fourth round of stimulus check as the federal government continues to distribute the $1,400 third stimulus check provided by President Biden's American Rescue Plan. So far, 64 congressional lawmakers have pushed already for not just one stimulus check, but reoccurring direct stimulus checks until the pandemic ends. In January, 2 months before Biden signed the third stimulus check package, 53 House Democrats pressed Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris for monthly reoccurring stimulus checks in a letter where they insisted that one more check is not enough. Here is the most recent letter here, as you can see here, titled to President Joseph Biden. We urge you to include reoccurring direct payments, aka stimulus checks, and automatic unemployment insurance extensions tied to economic conditions. That's those automatic stabilizers that I've talked about in the past, where basically checks and unemployment bonus money for people that have lost their job during the pandemic will continue to go out until economic conditions improve. And they are pushing to do this in your Build Back Better plan, the next stimulus package. This crisis is far from over, and families deserve certainty that they can put food on the table and keep a roof over their heads. Families should not be at the mercy of constantly shifting legislative timelines and ad hoc solutions. There are several reasons to prioritize both monthly recurring payments and enhanced unemployment insurance. First, these two forms of payments are effective together. Unemployment insurance has replaced lost income for millions who have lost their jobs, but millions of others who do not qualify for unemployment insurance after seeing their hours reduced, switching to lower paying jobs, or temporarily leaving the workforce to care for family members during the pandemic. Direct stimulus payments are crucial for supporting struggling families who aren't reached by unemployment insurance. An Urban Institute study suggests that a single direct payment of $1,200 combined with an extension of enhanced unemployment insurance or other assistance could keep 12 million people out of poverty. And adding in another direct stimulus payment could keep an additional 6.3 million people above the poverty line. I will keep you up to date on the push for the fourth round of stimulus checks here in upcoming videos. The IRS Commissioner Andrew Saul, who is under a lot of fire, make sure to go back and watch my video that says the Social Security Administration is in trouble. I'll link it to you here at the end of this video here in a few minutes. If you haven't watched that, you need to watch that. But the IRS Commissioner Andrew Saul says, once we were free to move forward, we aggressively worked with the Treasury and the IRS to issue the payments. And the payments have now been issued and are now pending for Wednesday, March 31st for millions of direct deposit or direct express Social Security beneficiaries. Anybody under the Social Security umbrella, SSI, SSDI, VA, RRB. I think that the majority of you guys are going to receive a direct deposit this Wednesday, March 31st, now that the Social Security Administration has finally sent over the payment files, the data, the information to the IRS. That will go out this Wednesday, March 31st. If you're on direct deposit or direct express card, you should be receiving your direct deposit this Wednesday, March 31st. I'm seeing dozens and dozens and dozens, probably hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of comments from you guys that say the IRS Get My Payment tool has updated for you and it is showing a pending deposit for March 31st. If you're getting a paper check, or if you're not from Social Security and you haven't gotten your check, it's very likely, very high chances you're going to be receiving a paper check or a debit card in the mail. Even if you're set up for direct deposit, if you're not, I think there's going to be another direct deposit that goes out this Wednesday for Social Security beneficiaries. But if you're not on Social Security, it's almost a 90% chance at this point that you're going to be receiving your $1,400 check in the mail or a debit card in the mail. So please watch your mail. In addition to Social Security, some of you guys will receive it in the mail as well. I'm seeing a lot of people say that they're pending for April 2nd for paper checks and debit cards in the mail. And people are actually receiving their checks in the mail every single day as we speak. I see comments from you guys every day saying, I received my check today. I received my check yesterday. Feel free to comment down below if you have received it or if you're pending for the next few days. I will keep you up to date on everything third stimulus check and fourth stimulus check related. We have a lot more coming from the third stimulus check as well, such as the $3,000 to $3,600 child income tax credits, as well as the mortgage assistance, rental assistance, property tax assistance, and utility assistance, as well as from the second stimulus package. There's some of that too. In addition to that, the $7,000 funeral credits, which is going to be becoming available in April, the government says, for anybody that had a family member pass away from the pandemic, you can get up to $7,000 of funeral credit reimbursed. So I'll keep you up to date on all of these as new information comes out. Remember, I'm here for you every single day, scouring through all the information. And as soon as information comes out, I'll bring it to you and keep you up to date with all these different packages and programs that you might be able to claim money for. So make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't yet. It's completely free to do so. After subscribing, click the bell icon to all notifications so you get reminder notifications so you don't miss out on new videos. New videos come out every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., 8 p.m., and 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Click on this video to watch the hot scandal about Social Security and why the Social Security Administrator is in trouble. Click on that to watch that next if you haven't yet. And this video teaches you how to start your own business selling products on Amazon, and I teach people how to do that and replace their 9-to-5 income. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.